Oh, gotta love it. Mark Ronson and Uptown Funk live here this afternoon on Variety Digital Radio Australia. Now, as I said earlier at the start of the show, that we got a bit of a problem going up in North Queensland. Now, over the weekend, as everybody knows, here in Queensland, there's been a bit of a long weekend because of Anzac Day, and some people don't have Monday off, unfortunately for them. But some morons up in Mossman, up in North Queensland there, up in Cairns and Port Douglas and all that, decided, and they're all white fellas, decided that they're going to do a bit of a dance and act like dickheads and take the piss out of Aboriginal people. Now, number one, you wouldn't do that in your own suburb, neither in your own backyard. So let's just play the tape for a bit. Have a listen. And it's mostly just them screaming and yelling, but doing Aboriginal dances. But I'm sure you'll see this on TV later on tonight. There's a guy on the ground thinking that he's a kangaroo. And these are all white fellas taking the piss out of Aboriginal culture and Aboriginal dances. So I'm not going to play any more of that tape because they're a bunch of wankers. Now, this other person on the line is not a wanker. His name is Charlie. He lives up there in Mossman. How are you, Charlie?
I'm good, thanks, John. How are you?
Very well, mate. Not very happy about looking at that video this morning.
I'm disgusted. So I did actually see it briefly last night, and I shared it. It got removed, and then I got on Facebook this morning, and I see that it had just gained a lot of popularity for all the wrong reasons. It's very disrespectful. These people are like locals, so they live amongst traditional custodians in Mossman and Port Douglas.
Well, that's right. Now, Charlie, the Amazing Race was up there not long ago, and I think they had to go down to Townsville or something. I can't remember, but I think they had to go down to Townsville or something, and they did the Aboriginal. Yeah, they did do it in Townsville. I just got told in my ear. So they did it in Townsville, right? And they did it as part of a competition. Now, do you find that offensive, or is it just what these fellas have done over the weekend?
I think it's just what these fellas have done over the weekend. There's a difference between sort of challenging someone to do it and someone mocking the culture and the dance.
And now in the video, Charlie, there's about I can see about easily 20 people in the video, and we don't know what venue it is yet. But we and I don't want to allege, but I'm alleging it's the Port Douglas Yacht Club, right? Which I hope it's not.
I think it's like Mossman Boat Club, Port Douglas Boat Yacht Club.
Right.
You can briefly see in the footage the sign. So they are at a venue, and it seems like, you know, all fun and games, and like I'm all for having a good time and having a dance. And
yeah, of course, and all us black fellas, because I'm half Aboriginal, and well, I'm Aboriginal, you know what I mean, same as you, mate, and we're all into having a good time and taking the piss, but there's a line. You know what I mean? And these fellas, there's not one. Is there a half-caste fella in that photo or nothing?
There is. So there's William Brown is one of the ones that I got onto Messenger today and was messaging and asking sort of, what do you think? You know, do you think that this is okay? This is not right. And his attitude was very, I suppose, in a way, offensive because he didn't want to like apologize. He didn't. I felt no empathy or compassion or any form of respect in what he had participated in. And even for all the people that are involved, someone needs to come forward and apologize for this and let everyone else know that this is not okay. That was very disrespectful, and it's disheartening. It really hurts us to the core. It's shameful, and if they can be held accountable and if they can come forward and just apologise to the Indigenous community about this outrage and make sure that they don't do it again, then we can move forward together and we can raise awareness.
Do you know the sad part about it, Charlie, is that you've been on the show before, on my show, and you're an actual traditional Aboriginal dancer, right? So for you to watch this sort of stuff is sort of taking the piss out of your craft.
It is, and I know exactly what they're doing. I know exactly how they're.
What are they doing?
They're trying to do a fire starting dance. One man goes on to try and do the Cassowary dance.
Yeah.
One tries to mock the emu.
Yeah.
While one was doing the fire dance, both of them came in to blow the fire to help it ignite.
Right.
So I know they know exactly what they're doing, but it's not justified. And they need to come forward and apologise to us because it's so hurtful, and they need to know that it's not okay, and they need to let everyone else in their little circle know that that is not okay.
Now, you're up there in Mossman.
Right.
Well, you're up there in Mossman where these fellas have done the dance and taken the piss out of the local tradition and the local elders as well, which is disgusting. Now, do these people walk around today in the main street and hold their head up high, or what are they doing?
I don't think that they'll be walking around much. Like, I hope that they just try and avoid the public and try and avoid a lot of Indigenous eyes looking at them, because I know a lot of people are just pissed off with them. So they really need to cop the repercussions, but they also need to be man enough to stand up and say it wasn't okay. We understand that you were having a good time, but there is a line that we need to draw, and they need to come forward and admit their wrongs and apologise.
Well, Charlie, do you know what? It doesn't matter how many drinks you have, you still know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because I'm a big drinker. I love beer. And I love having beers and all that sort of thing. And I've been up there not long ago up to Port Douglas, beautiful part of the world. And no, mate, you're still under control. You still know what you're doing. You still know your actions. So if they try to say, "Oh no, sorry, we were drunk," that's bullshit.
No, it's inexcusable.
Yeah,
there's no excuse. You did the damage. Now just apologise.
Do you know what?
Just honestly,
Charlie, my dad had to do some work. My uncle's a chief up there in Ingenuity, up there at Cape York, right? The Rope Yarns up there. And that's their last name, the Rope Yarns. Now, there was this white fella who came to town one day when I was it was like 1993. I was only in grade 7, right? But I had to fly up there on this tiny little plane up to Bemigo, right?
Yeah.
And off you go out to Ingenuity. And there was this white fella who lived in a caravan. And supposedly he was at the pub one night. I was only a little fella, but supposedly he was at the pub one night and he was being racist and called all these terrible names. Next minute, mate, the whole town came together and tipped his caravan over while he was still inside it. And he ended up disappearing out of town. So do you think some of these people should disappear out of town? That's my question.
Oh yeah, for sure. Relocate, please do, because the amount of disrespect that is currently happening from this younger generation, like these are people that are the next generation.
Yeah, I know, and you can clearly see their faces in the video. Yeah, you can clearly see their faces.
Kids. But it's just shameful to know that. Is this really how you're going to lead your generation? Do you want your kids, Luke Cleary and William Brown, do you want your kids seeing this and knowing that they were a part of that? Like, how are you going to justify this in 10 years' time? This isn't going to go away, William Brown and Luke Cleary. So you guys need to come up, get on social media, and apologise.
Well, do they have jobs? Because I'm sure their employees would love a call from radio stations and Channel 7 and Channel 9 and Channel 10 and everybody else. So do these fellas have jobs?
I hope so.
Or they just like to hang out at pubs and take the piss out of Aboriginal people? That's my question.
Well, I'm totally not sure. But I'm sure the employers would love to see this video.
Oh, of course. So what we're going to do is, Charlie, I'm going to make sure I don't really want to, by the way, but I am going to share it on Variety Digital Radio Australia's Facebook page so people know what we're talking about, you know what I mean? But
Thank you.
And I don't really want to share it because it's disgusting and horrible and what they're doing. And as a like, I'm from the Butler tribe, which is Fraser Island here in Brisbane. And to me, mate, if I saw a white fella taking the piss out, I'd go straight up there and punch him in the head. You know what I mean?
And that is in the cards, but I need to give them time to apologise for this. And if in a couple of weeks, if there's nothing done, then we'll just have to take things into our own hands.
Well, that's right. And do you know what? It just amazes me, as you just said, like these fellas might be teaching their younger kids, the younger generation, take the piss out of Aboriginal fellas and all this, but they all forget. This is what they all forget. That we were the first people on this land and we'll be the last people on this land. So we don't eat all the unhealthy stuff. I do, but you know what I mean? But Aboriginal people own this land. This is our land, even though we let white fellas on it, but it's still our land. You know what I mean? And just respect that.
Exactly. Just have enough decency. Come on, just like, where are your morals sitting when you're doing stuff like this? Like, when you're hungover, like the next day, like this is going to haunt them without them even sort of comprehending. But if they do, and then they do come clean and say, I made the mistake and they never do it again, then we're okay with that. We're peaceful people. Like, you push us, we can get aggressive. We will bite. But we're not like that. We can live in harmony.
No, of
it's
course.
happened for decades already.
No, that's right. So even though there's a problem happening right now in Alice Springs, I'm sure you've seen that on my stories that I do, Charlie. But that's not that's totally different to what's going on in Queensland. We're a cool mob here in Queensland, and even though we're all the same mob around Australia, but we're a cooler mob. You know what I mean? And a lot more chilled and the other thing, quickly, Charlie, just before I got to play another song, but these fellas who are living up there, it's a small town, you know what I mean? So why the hell, I'd like to say another word on radio, but I can't, but why the hell would you go to, it doesn't matter whether it's the Mossman Yacht Club or the Port Douglas Yacht Club, why the hell would you go there and knowing that everyone's got videos on their mobile phones these days and doing shit like that?
Yeah. I can't comprehend that. I can't understand why they would even think that. Why anyone would even encourage that.
Like, you'd understand if it happened in Sydney or Melbourne because they don't understand what like North Queenslanders are like, you know what I mean? But no, these fellas are in your own backyard, and do you know what? I feel so bad for you, Charlie, because it's just a big slap in the face, mate.
It is, and I've called them out, so it's up to them now. Come on, man up.
Well, Charlie, I hope they do man up, mate. And do you know what? I hope they're listening to this show because you're tagged in it and everything. So let's play them a bit of Yothu Yindi. Charlie, you are a legend. And, mate, you look after your mob up there. And big shout-out to all your mob. What is your mob up there?
Good Yallinji mob.
Yeah, see, I'm bachelor. And I deserve that because I'm like a bachelor. You know what I mean? Hey, you should have came to the Port Douglas, the courthouse hotel. I'm trying to say when I was there, but you didn't make it.
I didn't.
No. Charlie, serious subject, and we're about to tag Channel 10 and everybody other news crews in this story on Variety Digital Radio Australia Facebook page. Mate, you are a legend, and what do you think? How do you move on from this?
Well, it's the ball's in their court. They need to man up, like I said, and apologise formally.
Right, and how are they going to do it? Like, not on Facebook, that's not formally. How are you going to do it?
Well, that's totally up to them, but as soon as they do that, then we can move forward together.
Do you,
not separate.
So let's talk like proper now. Do you think, because my show is all about proper now, and I don't bullshit, this ain't Channel 9, right? So is there a few people going to maybe get their head smacked in?
Well, I hope so. But in saying that, I don't condone
it. Yeah, no, I don't condone violence either. But sometimes it's street justice. You know what I mean? And it's street justice. So
we will go that way as well.
That's right.
Like, we can go to circle sentencing. Yeah. Let's get you in the middle of a circle. Yeah. And we'll see how deadly you dance when spears are pointed at you. Yeah. Or you would like that. But anyways, I'll cross that bridge when it comes. But thank you very much for the opportunity. And I'm going to be sharing the thing out of this. And
Charlie, you gave me goosebumps, and you're a legend. Thanks for being on the show, mate. Yothu Yindi and Treaty. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
See you, mate. Enjoy North Queensland. I'll be up there soon.
Sure.
See you, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.